Knock him out the box, Rick. Knock him out, Rick. Knock him out the box. See, that's the thing. When do you do the intro? Because I don't know when. I don't want to just flip the switch and start a podcast.
What's going on?
Right? We're here live with Miles Dukhovny, my 13-year-old going on 14-year-old son, who recently stopped sitting next to me during dinner and movie night because he doesn't need his father anymore.
And because he hates his father.
Right. It's kind of a big time. It's a big time in our lives because you crossed that threshold. And I don't, it's okay. I don't take it personally. I know you hate me, but it's like for 13 years, really for 13 and a half years through 2020, you sat next to me every meal. You had to sit next to me and movie night. And then like you're breaking free. Like you have to. You can't be next to me forever, man.
Why not?
What makes you want to break free from me? No, but it's natural. It's like,
Just look at you.
are you just repelled by me? What is it a natural, like physical smell? Like
just
a
your
repel?
appearance. pisses me off. How would you look at that and want to sit next to that? Like,
So it's just pure physics.
Yes.
Physical.
yes.
Did I get uglier or was I always
I
hideous?
more realized how ugly.
Got
you
it. So it's kind of like the realization hit you at 13. Like, wait a
were.
second.
Yeah.
This despicable, disgusting
Beast
of a
human.
human has been sitting next to me all these years, and I thought he was cool
And gorgeous.
and gorgeous and handsome
And handsome.
and funny
And funny.
and good looking. Did I
Yes.
mention? But come to realize
That-
he's only
oh.
80% of those things. 70? Dropping fast?
65.
And is it dropping like daily or
Significantly.
is it on a day? What was it at its peak? What was your rating of me at your peak? At my
Probably
peak?
a 66
Out of 100 or out of 10?
out of 70.
66 out of 70?
There you go.
Well, that's pretty good.
Oh.
We should document this time because
Yeah.
later you're going to forget why you became disgusted.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me. You still like hanging out with me though. Like you still kind of like tell me,
Wow.
would you mind opening up about that? We don't have to post this. We could just keep it between us. If you want to get gushy or anything. You should give your assessment of me. Like just unload and tell me this is your chance to say anything you want.
Anything else?
It's kind of the magic of podcasting. I'm realizing is it can be very therapeutic because what am I going to do? Like I got to show people I'm emotionally intelligent. I can't like throw this coffee at you
Why not?
yet right now
Or
during
like
the
take
podcast.
coffee out of my hand and like throw it in the
Yeah,
trash
like
or something.
right. I did do that. But it's kind of cool that we can talk that way
Yeah.
and joke with each other and people don't even know how brutal we can get with each other joking around. We
Yeah.
can't even post it on this podcast really because they would be like, wait a second, that's
Did you
inappropriate.
say joke?
Right? But it's kind of what makes our relationship special is that
Mhm.
you talk to me like the things that come out of your mouth shock me sometimes.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't because I know, of course, you say bad words and cuss and swear. And
Yeah.
so like we never filtered that, but you just knew not to,
Except for that one time.
you just knew not to like use bad words in front of other adults. That's
Exactly.
all. And we got to be ourselves around each other, but with rules and punishments and disciplining, like earning things
Mhm.
and getting things taken away, that type of stuff, but always with always me attempting to be reasonable with you and for the most part, being able to talk openly and be ourselves around each other.
I agree.
Am I right?
You're right, my friend.
But I want you to like be able to, I want you to tell me like whatever you think. Like, how would you assess me? Tell me how you would assess me so far as a father, as a friend, as a mentor. What could I have done better? What could I have done? What did I do well?
Hmm. I think you've been a above average father for sure.
I'll
And
take that.
I think you did a lot of things well. You've taught me a lot.
But,
But
and it's a big but.
I mean, there's a couple things.
Tell me.
Obviously, no one could be perfect.
Right. Tell me.
Whoa. I don't know. Like, sometimes you can get really mad at me, but for the most part, it's not. So it's like, it's good for the most part.
Right.
And now it's gotten a lot better. It's really rare now for you to get, like, mad.
Yeah. How was it before versus now? How would
Oh,
you?
before?
Yeah.
A couple times a week. You would get mad at
Like
me.
blowing up.
Yeah.
Getting super frustrated.
Like a nuclear bomb, yes.
Yeah. Must be tough to grow up
With a
with a nuclear bomb. I know what it's like growing up with a nuclear bomb because
Same.
my dad was a nuclear bomb, probably a little bit bigger than me, meaning more of a bomb than me, going off
And
more
a bigger
often.
bomb, yeah.
Yeah, like heavier.
Yeah. Or mass.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm always open about needing to improve. I think that's been consistent since you can remember. It's not easy, but would you say there's been progress?
I would say there's been a lot of progress.
Really? Tell me
Yeah.
what you think. I'm on it. I'm interested.
I think you've improved a lot as a father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what was it before? How would you rate the problem areas before and how would you rate them now? Like what level of improvement have you seen?
Um, I think over the years you've grown probably out of 10, no, maybe like 5% better or 3% better every year. But I think it's actually been an exponential curve. More recently, you've like went like
Risen
this, and
more.
then you went up
Yeah.
more.
Like more recently as in how recently?
Like in the past couple of years, you've improved a lot, but before that, you were still improving, but a lot slower.
Slower.
And
Huh.
yeah,
Very insightful of you, sir.
thank you.
I agree with that. I feel like yeah, it was like a cumulative growth, but very slow because I just didn't understand so many things, and it just takes time.
Hmm.
But then once you get to this tipping point of like, oh wow, like when you start learning every day and realizing, oh shit, every day you're gonna have a realization about some shit that you didn't handle right, or you notice yourself doing something that could have been more effective. And it's just like little building blocks.
Yeah,
But then it's easy to slip into like impatience, frustration, anger. But it's always internal,
yeah,
you know? It's always like within yourself to figure out. It's not the other person. And if you need to change your environment, you change it. But like it's still you at the end of the day. Like you're self-inflicting most of whatever's going on with you. That's for sure.
yeah.
It's always going to be something to blame it on because life is always difficult. But when you realize at some point, okay, one thing that's consistent is me.
Yeah.
So got to start with like probably the source of it all, the whoever's interpreting all of these things and who's reacting to them. Once that really clicked, then it was like okay, and then I'm able to like listen to feedback too, and like harsh feedback potentially.
Oh,
Yeah. So rate me from 0 to 10 in terms of
I like that
patience.
you included 0.
Yeah.
Usually they would say 1 to 10 to avoid complete depression from
Right.
my answer, but you said a
Thank you.
0.
I thought you would appreciate that, honestly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I honestly thought it. I almost said 1 because that's too usual, but then I'm like, no. What if it's 0.7,
Yeah.
which it very well might be? So 0 to 10 on me being whatever you want to call it, patient, introspective, good anger management skills versus now.
I'd say currently, as a dad, you are probably rated, my opinion, a 9.3 out of 10.
9.3?
Yeah.
No way. That's
So,
insanely good for patience and
yeah.
wow.
And
And what?
you've taught me a lot. Like, your lectures, like, I think they've enlightened me over the years.
Thank you. That means a lot. I know they're not always easy to sit through in those long car rides to
Yeah.
Sacramento and Vegas, and you guys were like my hostages, and I'm like, we gonna talk because
Yeah.
it's been a while since we had a real good talking to, and then we talk about all the
Yeah.
things probably you heard already 10 times, but you need to hear it a bunch of times, man. I feel like to really believe it.
Yeah.
The things that drive your whole life, doing what you love, figuring yourself out, trying different things, whatever we talked about. 9.3, that's amazing. So
Yeah.
what was it before? Just curious. Like
Probably lower.
like what? Give me a number.
What do you mean before?
Like
'Cause
let's say 10 years ago when I really
10 years
or
ago.
whenever you can remember and you go, "Oh wow, like 5 years ago, dad, or 7 years ago, whatever your frame of reference is to the lowest point." Like the lowest point where I don't think I was like a low grade on every dad factor, like fun factor or being involved or like
Yeah.
coaching your teams, those things. But like the patience factor, the blowing up at you guys and talking down to you and saying, "What the hell's wrong with you?" Blah, 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 and like making you feel bad about yourself because you didn't do something like
I'd say 7.
7. So it wasn't that bad.
No.
That's pretty fair. I honestly would be okay even if you said it was a 3 in the patience thing, but I wasn't that bad. Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
I would have the occasional blow ups. But the occasional blow ups are like, but not so much with you. You were really good at navigating me, I feel like. Don't you
Yeah.
think? It was very rare for me to get mad at you. It's actually since you've become a teenager that's been more challenging. I've had to learn to elevate my game because of you guys. Because I'm like, oh shoot, this is what they were talking about. Like, meaning it is. First of all, you got to let go of your baby,
Yeah.
right? You got to be and not take it personal and go, hey, why don't you want to sit with me now? Like, I do want you to occasionally sit with me, but like, I also want you to be independent. So I logically catch myself and go, that's not for you to want that. So of course you want it. You can want whatever you want, but you're not going to be a baby forever, right? You
Yeah.
got to always say goodbye to your kids. Every year, say goodbye to your kids. Say goodbye to 12-year-old Miles. Say goodbye to 10-year-old Miles. Look at the pictures, look at the videos. Oh, that was cool. That was fun. But like, it's a new
Yeah.
Miles in town, and I got to respect that and reevaluate every day my relationship with you, dude. Really, that's the key. That's the key, especially since you hit puberty. If you don't want to lose that relationship you have with your kids, you got to reevaluate it every day. Like, especially since you go to mom's for a week, then come back here for a week. I don't see you for a week, and it's like, dude, I see you got more manly. You're stretching out your features, your smell, especially the smell. It ain't no joke,
Smells good.
boy. Now, when you after you hit that bike, go hit the showers. You know what I'm saying? But it's but thank you. Yeah, that's fair. I feel like you could have rated me lower on the patience thing, man. But 9.3 is very good. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll pay you later.
Thank you.
You used to be into soccer,
Mhm.
right? And you were pretty good at it.
Yeah.
And then kind of dropped off over the last couple of years, right? And I always said you don't have to be in soccer. And I think you tried skateboarding. You've tried a few things, and I've been helping you figure out who you are. Because I think if you find your passion and obsession, like something you're willing to do 10 hours a day, then that's where you should apply yourself. Whether it's video game play or production or design, or it's stock investments, or it's a mathematician, an engineer, because you also get really good grades. So it's like you really have all the choices in front of you. So the
Yeah.
way to choose is definitely through with passion. You know what I mean? Not the money will come. Therefore, okay, so then last time we did this interview, we went and looked at some videos, some a day in the life of,
Yeah.
right? And you looked at a streamer and you looked at like a entrepreneur. And since then you've tried a few things. So tell me, like, check in with me and tell me, what did you try since we talked last, and like what do you think about what you want to maybe get into?
Um. Well, the stock investing account is. I like it. It's fun to like play with the money, and I've made money already, but
Yeah.
and I haven't even invested all of
Yeah.
it. And
So, we unofficially started an account, let's say account that you have play money to play with, and you're playing around with some investments.
yeah,
And I'm proud of you for calling Jacob and talking to him about, how to invest your money and starting to track certain things. And you actually made some money, but that's not the important thing. It's the learning. Because if you lose some of it, you're going to learn even more, and you may have to
yeah,
sometimes. It's okay to lose all your money as long as you're learning and you enjoy it. Because if you can enjoy it enough to stick with it for long enough, you're going to be making money. You're going to get better at playing that game, you know, whatever it is, Monopoly, whatever video games you play. If
yeah,
you love them enough to put in the time, you're gonna get good at it. So now it's just a matter of figuring out where you want to be kind of obsessive, or maybe you can't be obsessive about anything. So find the thing you're the most obsessive about, the one that you can go 6 hours in a row doing. If that's the most you can do, right?
yeah,
You could be a writer, you could be a comedian, you could be an actor, you could be a model, you could be a hair model. You got a good hair model
thank you.
potential. You could be an engineer, a mathematician, a gardener, a landscaper. Whatever, fixing cars.
Yeah.
So what you think?
Um,
So stock market, and then
I think
what about the streaming that you were gonna try to do?
yeah, I tried it once, and I think I'll continue doing it, but I need to still figure out the setup for like
For the
uh,
streaming stuff.
yeah,
All right, so you're gonna continue doing it.
because
You're
yeah,
gonna give it
and
a shot.
there's a lot of like components and that, and
Right.
also
There always is, man. Quick tangent.
yeah,
Everything I've ever tried, there's so many components. Nothing is really, everything is easy, simple, but there's a lot of steps.
Yeah.
You got to be willing to do the 10,000 steps it takes. That's the key. That's the question. Not can I do it? Yes, you can do it. Do you want to take those 10,000 steps? To do a podcast is not just sitting and talking in a mic, because Josh and I have probably spent already several thousand hours on this. And we're
Yeah.
only in episode 4 as we're recording this. Probably, I don't know how many, I'm not counting, but probably when we get to 10,000 is when we're going to start getting it right. So that's why I keep telling you, do what you love, because how the hell are you going to put in that much time if you're not into it, man? And you're going to always quit before you get there. That's why it's got to be like, oh my God, this is exciting. I'm getting up for this. I want to wake up in the morning for this. You know what I mean? You got to find something that gets you up in the morning. Ben would get up for this podcast in the morning, or to go talk to homeless people. He would get up at 5 in the morning to go feed homeless people, but not much else. He doesn't even need to eat to go do that. I realize that today more than ever. I've had those realizations where we need to follow Ben. I've even talked to Josh about it. But today really it hit home for me doing the podcast with him and him. But again, that's what's going to get Ben to a goal. He has an obsession with it that's going to get him to take 10,000 steps. He might take each step slower, but he's going to pass some bill, dude. Ben's going to end up passing a bill. We're
Yeah.
going to help him pass a bill. We'll do it. And it's going to take 10,000 steps to pass that bill.
Yeah.
It's not going to be 3 steps. So what's good is, though, you got to take those first couple hundred maybe in things that are interest you, to know, I don't want to do this. It's not exciting. You're a competitive person. You need competition. That's why I thought stock market, because when you play board games, you're so emotional and relentless, and you get so upset when you lose. And I'm like, dude, you one of those stock market dudes. Buy, sell. Like, you'd be the one jumping. I'm not saying I want to see you do that. I want you to be chill, but you got it in you. So if you're a racehorse, then I got to get you on the racetrack.
Yeah.
And you need competition. You really get into like playing board games, anything. Like Cody and I are like, okay, and you're getting upset. There's something to that, though. I'm paying attention now. I realize, you know, you could be a surgeon and love the adrenaline from having somebody's life in your hands. Surgeons, probably kind of the good ones, probably love the adrenaline rush. You got to know the personality and the character and not just the intelligence it takes to be something great, something you can be in the zone about.
Yeah.
If you're not getting in the zone at work, you're not in the right job. Everyone should be getting in the zone. Like when you play video games, you're in the zone. That's why I'm like, if you want to be a streamer, and if you put in 10 hours a day and you keep doing that and you keep streaming, you're going to get there. If you put in 10,000 streaming hours, you're going to be a professional streamer, dude. I don't know. That's the realization I've had. I will guarantee it. I will put money on that. I'll put money on that. You can start tracking it, and I will put money on it. And either way, we win. Because either if you don't make it, I owe you money. And if you make it, you make enough money to pay me. It's a win-win for you. So let's go. Like, but find that thing that you want to go 10,000 hours on and start tracking your hours. And let's see where you're at when you're at 1,000, 5,000. It might not take 10, but you got to be willing to take 10, because it might take 10 to 15 if you run into glitches. You know what I mean? Like, what if there's a pandemic? What if there's a lockdown, a civil war? I mean, you got to find something that you love enough where you're always coming back to it. Otherwise, you're going to quit and you're going to keep wandering and trying. And it's fine. You can settle on a job and make a career. Once you have responsibilities and obligations, you'll be stuck to that career maybe for a while, and you'll make it work for you, and you'll be the best you can be and try to be as happy as you can. And that's okay. It's an option. I just don't think it's the optimal life. It's not the optimal game plan for you, and it's not gonna make your life the most enjoyable, the most fun, the most successful, the most money. Actually, the whole it's kind of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Plus relationship choices, plus other areas of your life. Like like committing crimes that put you in jail. That's probably also another big factor of your life. But that's kind of comes with the same kind of thinking. Like you just try to play the game to your advantage and have the most enjoyment out of this. Have the best people around you, the best job, your friends. What can you do to have these friends around you? Or the type of people you like, the types of character and heart they have. Think about it that way. See, I didn't think about it that way. If you're hanging out with certain people, that's probably your tribe. So you have to analyze that and go, what can I do on a day-to-day basis that allows me to hang out with a tribe that I enjoy? Because if you're hanging out with a tribe of, let's say, engineers and you don't like engineers and every day you got to hang out with engineers, you're probably going to be miserable too.
Yeah.
Good shit, dude. So what is it from, let's say we meet every couple weeks or month.
Yeah.
And just do a check-in, but you get to put your hours into whatever you want. Because think about it this way: when you get to 10,000 hours on something, you're probably going to be making money. So what does it matter? You start at 13 or 14, or you start at 18? I mean, you get there eventually, but I guess why not start now? Why not have 3,000 hours already in by the time you're 18? And then you're like 30% there, or maybe halfway there, maybe. Why not? And if it's something you love, right? You may just not be able to do it full time, but since you're not focused on another hobby, find the hobby that's going to get you those hours, whatever it is, right? You can go, you know what? I don't know, whatever. It doesn't matter. If it's stock, that means that money you're playing with, right? You're just putting however many hours you want to put a week into it, tracking that, and it's going into your 10,000 hour bank. Are you going to still be managing that account?
Yeah.
You enjoy it?
Mhm.
What do you think about it? Tell me what you think about it.
It's fun.
It's fun?
Yeah.
Why is it fun?
I don't know. Just like investing and seeing like profits, I guess.
You like the kind of
Like profits.
excitement of making money.
Yeah.
Kind of. That's okay. I mean, that's kind of what Jacob likes. So he's all into reading about companies and learning about what they sell and then looking at the numbers. I mean, the numbers tell you a lot, man. You can't get around that.
Yeah.
Like I'm realizing, and this is just for the record for Josh, that the metrics that Josh has been looking at and like telling me about, I realized I should pay more attention because, for example, YouTube is kind of also a game in a way, and they're telling you like, hey, here's information about who's watching, who's not, how long they're watching for, to tell you like, and if you ignore that, you're losing out on valuable data that might help you go, oh, 5-minute videos work better. People like watching 5 minutes. It's been 3 months. Average watch time is 5 minutes. Let's just make 5-minute. I mean, you got to start thinking like that at some point, or making them 10-minute videos or whatever. And so the numbers are important, but that's good, man. That you're kind of into it. I'm excited to see where it goes. As you enter the hundreds of hours, then we're gonna keep an eye on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, it's totally okay. You just gotta it's good to, I think, stop doing something that you realize isn't for you. But give it enough of a chance that you're not quitting because it gets difficult, but because it's not for you.
Yeah.
I totally see you doing it, man. I totally see you being like a stockbroker and a day trader or something like that, because it involves math, data, playing Monopoly. Essentially, you're playing Monopoly, buying properties, selling properties, you know?
Yeah.
Exciting, man. And then I do want to be your first subscriber when you start streaming. I see no reason that you wouldn't be successful. I'm not like, oh my God, what is he doing? And the more you do it, the more comfortable you get, the easier it becomes, the more fluid it becomes. And, I just don't want you to limit yourself. That's all. I don't want you to limit your possibilities because it's not the reality at all. You could make it your reality if you decide, oh, I can't do these 5 things. Always do your first choice, not your second choice.
Yeah.
The second choice isn't as exciting. So why would you sign up when you're going to burn out sooner? That makes no sense. And yet, oh, I got to have a backup plan. Oh, I'm going to college to have a backup plan. Like, why? Why do you need a backup plan? If I understand you can have a backup plan within the plan A, though. Like, hey, if I don't become a famous singer, I'm going to produce music, or I'm going to work with other famous singers and help them voice train, or I'm going to teach kids to sing, or I'm going to whatever. Why does plan B have to be go to college and become an engineer that I hate, or an accountant? I'm going to get my account. Dude, I've already heard kids telling me, oh, their backup plan is to be an accountant, not because they love accounting. I'm like, that's a terrible backup plan. Why not have a backup plan within your plan A? Like plan A is become a stockbroker. Let's say you realize, okay, I love trading. Plan B is, okay, if I can't make enough money as a stockbroker, can I be a stock analyst or a data analyst or a secretary for a stockbroker? But be in that world that I love, the companies, the money making, right? Just not be the guy making the money, maybe. Plan B, C, D should all be around who you are. Like, there's enough jobs right now. This isn't communist Russia where you pick a job out of a hat and you're just lucky to have a job. That's how it was.
Yeah.
Or you get to have a spot in a college and you just take it even though it wasn't your first choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Miles, good job, man. Good stuff.
Stuff.
Love you.
Love you. I have a question for
Yeah.
you. I was just thinking, and you were talking about our road trips to Sacramento. I remember like a really long time ago, there was this. You asked me this riddle, like for me and Cody,
Yeah.
and I still haven't gotten it to this day.
You never got that riddle.
Yeah, the one where it was like one goat.
Oh, you never
One
got the goat? You want to try to do it now?
No,
I thought you looked it up.
no,
You never looked it up?
or it didn't come up or something.
Okay, so the riddle is there's a goat, a cabbage, and a wolf.
Yeah.
And the farmer's traveling with all three. They get to a river, and there's one boat. Ben, too loud, buddy. It's hard to tell a story when there's another story going on in your ear, your right ear. So the riddle is there's a goat, okay.
Cabbage.
So the riddle is there's a goat, a farmer, and a cabbage,
And a wolf.
and yeah, and a wolf, right? Sorry, starting. There's a wolf, a cabbage, and a wolf. Well, wolf, a cabbage, and a oh my God. There's a goat, a cabbage, and a wolf.
Yes, and a farmer.
A goat, a cabbage, and a wolf. Okay. The farmer is traveling with all three, gets to a river. And there's a boat, but he can only take one thing with him in the boat at a time. How does he get all three things to the other side of the river?
But
And so, so forgot the most important part. Yeah. If you leave the goat with the wolf eats the goat. If you leave the cabbage with the goat eats the cabbage, right? So you can't leave the goat with the wolf or the goat with the cabbage, right?
Yeah.
So you start with the goat because the wolf doesn't eat the cabbage. So that the first step, everyone gets the first step. But then you got to go from there. And that's where you got tripped up.
what was the answer?
It's actually a really great riddle. It's like, do you know that riddle? It's a great riddle, actually. Let me say, I'm glad you brought it up because of all the riddles I've ever known, I feel like it's such a beautiful riddle because it's actually simple. And what it teaches you is put yourself in the person's shoes. Okay. Like, if you're solving a crime, really be that person, walk their steps. No, don't just read the report. Go to the scene of the crime, walk in their shoes, go out of the door and go, wait a second, this door is short. He's 6'2". How did he, whatever. Like, you have to go there. You're going to notice things. If you're just going to go, well, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you're not going to get it. And it's the same for this riddle and a lot of riddles. And it taught me an important thing to solve, how to solve other problems is to really meditate and go there. If you truly put yourself in the farmer's shoes and are faced with this problem, close your eyes and picture yourself, and you really say, okay, I'm going to do that for 20 minutes. Like, I'm going to give myself 20 minutes. I'm not going to be interrupted. You will solve the riddle.
Yeah.
You will solve the riddle.
Easy riddle.
It's not easy because you have to do that. And most people won't. They'll skip steps and just go, I don't get it. How could he, this it's impossible. But it's not. And that's another lesson is the impossible, when it seems impossible, you probably just didn't solve it. That's why it
Can I
seems
say the
impossible.
answer?
Sure.
Like my guess.
Yeah. It shouldn't be a guess because when you solve it,
No,
you know
but
you
like
solved it.
my answer. Okay.
That's the beauty of it.
So you wait until it's winter and the lake
No.
freezes.
It's already no, because it's not that. You gotta just, it's the facts are all there. There's nothing more you need to know.
No, obviously.
Well, let's leave it at that and let Miles solve it, because if you, after this interview, just go off for 20 minutes
Okay.
and think about it,
Take
you'll
the
get it.
wolf, obviously, and you let the goat eat the cabbage.
No.
He's probably hungry, right?
No,
And
it's
Goat.
nothing like that. There's no trick to it.
Why?
It's literally staying within the rules and going there, and guessing won't get you there. When you solve it, you'll know.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
Is bringing the goat over first really the first step? Or is that to trick you?
No. That's
That's
the
the
first step.
first
And
step.
actually, you shouldn't have to tell somebody that, but I'm just because that's always the like first hurdle.
Very peculiar.
So I'm just helping you get there because it's not that important, that part. That part's a given, and then that's when people get stuck. So let's wrap it.
I know it.
What is it? Wait.
You take the goat to the other side.
Yeah.
And you come back.
Yeah.
And then you take the cabbage.
Okay.
Wait. Anything I was just saying. No, you take the wolf.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna play this out.
Yeah.
twice.
Play it out. Play it out.
So you take the wolf over.
Okay.
After.
Yeah.
And then you bring the goat back.
Okay.
And then you take the cabbage over.
Right.
And then you go back with nothing.
Yeah.
And then you bring the
That's
goat.
right, boy. What the fuck?
It's easy, I told you.
That's pretty sick, man. That's the answer. How beautiful is that riddle, man? Dude, you've been working on that riddle for how long?
5 years?
How did you figure it out?
Just thought about it.
And did you put yourself there, kind of?
No.
Shut the fuck.
I just
But you
used
had
my
to stop
brain.
and really consider it, and that's what you were. Do you remember when I told you that riddle the first time? I said, I
spent
told you the
an
same
hour
thing.
on it.
But you would keep guessing.
Yeah.
And you would get frustrated, and you said it's impossible. And you kept telling yourself it's impossible. And I told you, if you're going to keep saying it's impossible, you're not going to get it, because you're never going to allow yourself to explore the options and explore the possible solutions till you find the answer. And to actually, if you don't believe that there's an answer, you're not going to go to the scene of the crime. You're going to be like, fuck it, I'm not going to waste my time. He's tricking me. I'm not going to go there. Once you allowed yourself to go there and believe that there's a solution,
Yeah.
you found it, man. That was pretty amazing that you solved it right now, man. We couldn't have planned that any better.
I'm just goated.
I'm proud of you. I knew you could solve it. That's what was pissing me off when I told you 5 years ago, because you could have solved it then if you had gotten out of your head. What a great I'm glad that you solved it on your own and learned a valuable lesson, man. Get out of your head, dude. Like, you do that. You get frustrated if you can't figure it out because you're so smart and you're afraid you're not going to be as smart as someone else because they got it in 5 minutes and then now it's taking you 10 minutes. So you're like, I don't want to solve it. This is stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's something that hinders you sometimes. It does to me too. Like, oh, I'm just not going to do it because you don't want to risk not solving it.
Yeah.
So you gotta let yourself fail, man. You know? Good job. High five.
Solved it.
All right, brother.
Solved your st-
Thanks for joining us today. I got to go pee. I think that's our outro.
Thank you. We'll see you guys next time on Rick's ASMR.
Knock him out the box, Rick. Knock him out, Rick. Knock him out the box.